when you do that.
It is.
Don't do
7:32.
Stop it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless podcast and
Meat Sweats the podcast.
Big Irish J here. No co-host Phil, the philanthropist Phil Fox. He's on a sabbatical for a little bit.
Because he's a bit of an animal.
Yeah, he's good. But we're doing a swapcast with my buddies from the Meat Sweats podcast. Billy Big Balls / Billy Blue Balls Laskowski.
Hello.
And Matt Texas Ranger Walker.
Oh, God,
damn
you
it.
happy
Really?
fuck. How dare you?
You had to
How
go with that
dare
one?
What's wrong with that?
It's clearly Matt Slutty Dad Matt Walker.
Walker Texas Ranger?
It's
Stop it.
Slutty Dad.
You didn't like mine?
It's
No,
Slutty Bar Dad.
I heard that for the first time when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped for 27 years.
Way to go.
How about Matt Daywalker?
Ooh, all right.
No,
I like
not at
that.
all.
I like
I'm not
that.
a ginge.
I like. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not a vampire.
yeah, well-
certainly no Wesley Snipes.
Matt
Definitely
Power
not.
Walker?
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
'cause
yeah.
he does the marathon stuff.
Do you?
Yeah.
He's got it.
You do a marathon?
Half marathon.
Listen to this. Look
Well,
at
like
tell him what you got your dumb
What,
ass
on
involved in.
You do a wings marathon?
No. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm running
Cheers marathon.
I'm running the rock and roll half marathon in Las Vegas this Sunday. And
This Sunday.
this
Yeah.
Sunday.
Do you want to stand up really quick and show everybody how you've
Sure.
prepared?
I have
How old are you?
I haven't trained 36.
Dude, how are your knees not...
They
It's a half marathon.
It's a half marathon.
13 miles.
13.1. Yeah.
0.1.
And you have done no training.
No, I ran 8 miles like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, well, I can squeeze another 5 miles out of this body. Yeah.
I am impressed.
Right?
I've run.
Dude, I
so
couldn't walk a mile.
I
We
ran.
know. We know.
I
We
ran
tell.
my first race last November. I ran a 15K,
Okay.
which is like 9.3 miles. And then shortly after that, I did the rock and roll half in Phoenix, which is 13.1 miles. And it was fucking brutal. It was
So,
tough.
okay.
And
You were
then-
training.
And then I was training for it.
He was
and,
running a lot, and he was real thin, too.
And then I ran a Ragnar. So I ran like 17 point something miles in like a 24-hour period. It's like this
like a
200-mile long distance race that you do with a team of 12 people.
Oh.
And so you get like 6 people in vans, and you all run, and you pick up the next person, drop off a
Find
person.
6 other idiots.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you're like, hey, let's go run.
Here's my question. When was the first time you ran have you ran a full marathon?
No.
When was the first time you ran like one of these more than 10 miles things?
More than 10 miles was the half marathon I ran last January.
But you kind of trained for that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm curious, you're training for it, that's fine, everything. After you get done though, what's the next day like?
Oh, brutal.
Like,
Absolutely
I mean, do
brutal.
blisters, your knee, tell me what is it?
A lot of chafing. I got to put the Glide stuff on. So they got this stuff called Glide. I put it on my nipples and on my thighs.
On your nipples.
Yeah,
Your
'cause-
nipples chafe from your shirt?
My nipples will chafe from my shirt. If I go run if I do anything like 6 miles or more, my nipples
You got
will
chafy
chafe.
nips?
Yeah.
Do people, they put tape over them, right? Some people?
I
Or
think
no?
some people do.
Do you
Or
want
they
me to-
put
can I get-
Band-Aids.
Can I get you some runner's pasties or what? Or do you need a pair? I'll
I
get
might
you one.
need some.
I'll get you
Tassels.
some.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have this stuff called
When you run faster, they just stream more.
they have this stuff called Glide, and it looks like a little stick of deodorant.
Okay.
And you just you glide it on the places where you're gonna chafe, and it kind of reduces the friction,
Okay,
lessens
and
the chafing.
blisters?
I didn't get any. I haven't gotten
Oh,
any
really?
blisters. No.
If you have good shoes,
I got-
like
Yeah, I got pretty good shoes. I got pretty good socks too.
I love how you're telling
motherfucker. I have run more than him in my life. I will have you know. I was on a wrestling team in college.
Where are your medals?
I don't need any fucking medals.
You ran a
I've
half
ran
marathon?
more than you.
You ran a half marathon?
I've ran 16 miles in a sitting.
Okay.
Okay. I've done 7 miles
You're
worth of
16
ladder
miles in a
sprints.
city and you were in a car.
No.
I'm about to run a half marathon on no training. So
I
how
mean,
about that?
I'll fucking come with you. I'll do it. I'll just
Come.
do it. I'll just
Come.
fucking go do it.
Yep.
You are okay. You want to put it on the? You want to put it on this right now? The Meat Sweats and the HollingsWorthless.
Oh my god.
Saturday. I'm leaving
It's this
Saturday
Saturday.
morning. I'm leaving Saturday morning, going to Vegas.
I mean, I gotta work. Like it took,
Okay.
it took last
Of
week.
course. Of course.
It took last week
All
at
right.
the
How about
beach.
when's
I
your
gotta
next
work.
day off?
I mean, I just gotta make some. I just gotta make enough scratch type deal. But you just want me to go run 13.1
Yeah, and
miles?
we'll do play-by-play as you go.
You guys, you gonna
We'll
follow
dri-
me?
Yeah, we'll drive.
Oh,
Because
fuck.
you threw it down. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
There's
this is
no
gonna
way.
be hours.
There's no way I could do it.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I
everybody
get
knows.
that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. You're saying you can do it, so
yeah,
let's see you do it.
I could do it.
Okay, so when? Within the next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you can't prepare or train.
No
You
prepared,
just-
no
yeah,
train.
you
Okay.
just
Well,
have to pick
any preparation or training he would do at this point would not be
No, it
worth
wouldn't
it.
be.
It would just hurt him.
It would
more.
it would hurt me more. Yeah, it would be better to go out and run 13.1
Okay,
miles.
so when are we
just
doing it?
on fresh shitty legs?
Yep.
All right, when you
Instead
want to
of
do it?
Shitty legs that are tired.
He's trying to lock you down here. When are you gonna
Yeah.
All right, let's get. All right, we're gonna get the calendar out here. Let's get.
yeah,
Let's see.
dude.
You know what? And if I do it, both of you got to pull a bet out of the bucket.
What's the? Oh,
This is the meat
do
sweat.
it? I'm not pulling a bet out of the bucket.
Well, then I'm not gonna do this. There's no
Oh,
fucking.
you-
I gotta go suffer
I-
and try to.
You said you could do it.
You said you could do it. This has nothing to do with me. I didn't make some bold claim. I'm going and doing something already.
And I'm saying I can't do it.
Yeah.
And you're saying you can do it. So let's see
Yeah.
you fucking do it.
Well, I mean, what do I get if I do?
The accomplishment, the fucking shit talking. You can say that you fucking. Oh, I said I could do it and I did it.
That's never as good as like cash, or
Cash?
or punishment on you guys.
Oh, well, I'm not getting punished
okay.
because
So what if you don't complete it? What's the punishment?
I would pull a bet. I would pull a bet from the bucket.
What? So for those that don't know that are listening to HollingsWorthless, I know the Meat Sweats listeners know, but for
Yeah.
the HollingsWorthless, explain what's the
So,
bucket.
so the bucket is a stolen idea from another podcast because
Okay.
fuck it. But it's a great idea. If I make an outlandish claim or we make a bet on the podcast, like we have our weight loss challenge that we're currently in with.
Are we supposed to weigh in for that or something?
Eventually, there's going to be another one coming up. It's the last one,
Oh, Jesus.
and you're looking pretty husky.
I can
anyway,
drop it all in a second.
Yeah,
Anyway,
marathon.
so the loser of a bet or whatever, like I'm in a bet with my roommate Brian Kearley to
Right.
not drink for a year right now. He still
and
hasn't.
you're crushing that.
He still hasn't fucking paid up on his 4-month bet, motherfucker. You get in that goddamn basement, Brian. You spend the
So
night in that
animated.
basement, Brian, you little bitch.
Jesus Christ.
I've been sober.
So what are some of the
I'm
things
down.
in the bucket?
So like one of the things is spend a night in our basement. And our basement is a dirt floor. Like you get in from the outside. There's no stairs. It's just like a ladder.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. It's like
It's damp.
very damp. You don't know what's living down there because there's a couple like holes on the other side. I've tried to
There
block
could
them
be
with bricks.
could be a person living down there.
There
We
very
don't know.
well could be. I live in
Nuke's top
downtown
5.
Phoenix.
Well,
Yeah. Like there's some, and honestly, like that everybody says that's been to my house that's like believes in ghosts, says it's haunted.
Okay. What are some of the other ones?
Some of the other ones are like take a shit in an adult diaper. That
Easy.
easy. You
Dude, I've shit in adult underwear.
like a full one though. Like a full.
That's
You-
my
you-
marathon.
you-
I'm like, yeah, I can do it easy. Yeah, dude. When was this? Oh, I told this on the last podcast. I'll tell you in a sec. Keep going. Tell some more.
There's get the winner of the bet's name tattooed on your ass.
Oh Jesus,
That's a forever.
Yeah.
With some of the ones that have been pulled out already are the one Brian has where he's got to spend the night in the murder hole, which is what I call the basement. And then there's one Matt's done.
So your asshole is called the murder.
It is.
hole.
The murder hole.
It is. You touch it, I'm going to murder you. The one Matt did was probably one of the grosser bets in the bucket.
I mean, it wasn't that fucking bad.
I almost vomited.
What was it? I think I remember this.
He had to eat the beard hairs from Michael Paul Cohn, who's a local Phoenix comedian's face. And it was made even more disgusting because Cohn like has this just gnarled like Gandalf beard, and he pulls out like just a hunk of it and he takes a lit cigarette and he uses the cigarette to like take the hair off. And then Matt just like begrudgingly like rolls it up into a little hairball, throws it in the shot of whiskey and just downs it. And
I think this is the start of a new segment on the HollingsWorthless called "Fucking White People," because I guarantee you, no black person will ever fucking.
Oh no, they wouldn't
disgusting.
do that. They wouldn't do that. But you can't. What you call it? You can't welch on a bet.
Yeah, true.
You can't welch.
Yeah.
We haven't had any welchers. We don't have consequences for welchers.
Okay, so you were talking about the shitting. So I told this on the last podcast. We were driving to Joker's in Richland, Washington, 3 or 4 hour drive, and we're about an hour and a half in, and I was like, bro, I got to take a shit. We got to pull over. So we pull over, and it's coming on a lot quicker than I thought. So I'm running to the bathroom, and it's like it's coming out as I'm going to sit down, and it just it looks like a murder scene. It looks like a murder scene of shit, you know. And,
in the toilet,
everywhere. Yeah. So I took in a brand new pack of baby wipes and went through the whole thing. We get back in the car and we leave, and Manny's driving, bless his heart, and he goes, man, I wonder, is there like cows out here? It stinks out here. And I'm like, it's probably me. So we probably 10 minutes later, we're driving, and I'm just like, God, it's fucking, I look down, and there's a little brown on the fucking sweatshirt, and I didn't say anything. I just rolled my window down. And then when we finally got to Richland, like 2.5 hours later, I told him, I was like, I think I got shit on this. He's like, how the fuck do you get it on the front? I go, I don't know, man. I was trying to clean. I was trying to get everything. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything, though, and then we got there, and I did laundry and showered right immediately when we got.
God. Oh my God!
I just want you to. I'm trying not to puke.
Oh,
that's amazing.
You should imagine being in the car.
I can't. Sit there and smell your
man.
Like we're about to live together in March, and you're telling like I'm kind of rethinking my life choices. Right? I just got back from the beach, San Diego, and it was real nice.
That's the other side of the spectrum. You'll fucking you'll come home at 3 a.m. like, dude, I got shit on my shirt. I don't know how. the fuck does that happen?
How the fuck do I have Jay's shit on my shirt?
You're out, man. Your cologne stinks. Smells like shit. Okay, so I
told you
back
to touch my stuff, motherfucker.
Your marathon thing. So, well, first, is there a reason you're doing this? Like, you just woke up and like, you challenge myself, or I want to do it, or is it for charity, or
no? So my sisters, three of my older sisters all run. Like one of them does like triathlons. Another one's doing like triathlons now. Another one just did like an ultra marathon, which is like a 30-mile marathon. And so what happened is two of my sisters were doing a Ragnar, which is that long distance relay race, and they were doing it through San Francisco and into Napa Valley.
Okay. And
one of them got to run across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
And I just thought, like, that is the coolest fucking experience. Imagine what a cool experience that is.
Totally.
I want to be able to have, like, experiences like that. And I'd like to have it with, like, my sisters and stuff, too. Like, we were not very close when we were younger, and this is, like, kind of a way we can be close. So
I love that you did not cover your mouth at all as you coughed at him.
I caught it in my mouth.
Yeah. You literally just went like this.
Yeah. It was behind him. It was behind him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And for those that are watching or listening, Matt has been on. You said you weren't very close growing up.
Yeah.
Matt's been on the podcast previously and talked about growing up in a cult, which is you can go back and look at it. It's pretty good.
If you're a Meat Sweats watcher, you can drink now because Matt's cult status.
I didn't mention it. I haven't mentioned it. Jay mentioned it.
My brother, when we first started the podcast, probably the first 30 episodes, he hit me up at like episode like 25 or something. He's like, dude, we play a drinking game every time Matt brings up if he was in a cult or a lawyer or like has a law degree.
Wait, I didn't know you had a law degree?
Yeah.
What?
You didn't know that? No. I was sure that I've told you that at some point.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
And which law school did you go to?
Arizona. I went to Phoenix School of Law, which then became Arizona Summit Law School, which is now, I think it's boarded up. I think it's boarded up. It's a catty corner from Stand Up Live.
They
downtown
sell
Phoenix.
avocado toast there now.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to become a lawyer, or just?
No, I got sick of it like 2 years in. I got burned out. The reasons like I was working like a 60-hour job as like this fucking manager. and like working at like 2:00 in the morning some fucking days, and then had the kids on the weekends, and then fucking went to law school at night. So after a couple of years of that, I was like fucking burnt out, and the reasons I wanted to go, I didn't really care about anymore. And like I was looking at like what my options were going to be as an attorney. Say, like I knew I was going to graduate, but say I take the bar exam and practice law, like I didn't like any of it enough to justify putting my efforts there. So
I remember my buddy Matt Garlington worked at a law firm. I think he did like made copies and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I always thought I always was like, or have been envious of lawyers to like know, to have that at your fingertips, to know the law, to where like you can, anybody says anything or a cop tries to fuck with you know it in and out. And I remember I went to his work one day, and then I walked into the law library, and I was just like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. There's no fucking way.
Well, and it's like lawyers they don't really have all that knowledge at their finger, like, or at the top of their head. Like they go and do the research on it the whole fucking way
let's
through,
ask
right?
a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
He's not a fucking lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer, but I am a doctor of law. You piece of shit. So
fucking
Shots fired.
doctor of
you have to have
dildos.
a pretty broad understanding of a lot of areas of the law, because they all intersect in a lot of different ways. But people specialize, and once you specialize, like, you don't want to go talk to a bankruptcy attorney about a DUI unless he happens to be a DUI attorney at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go to a very specialized person because they know the ins and outs of that type of law in that state.
Well, I just found this.
Did I say that?
Not at all.
I think I kind of said that.
No, you didn't say that at all.
I'm pretty sure I said that. Pretty sure I said something similar.
No,
not at all.
I was
Thank you
like,
for being so concise and clear.
Not a bit.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
go fuck yourself.
I just found this YouTube channel called Audit the Audit,
Okay.
and it's great. It takes like people's interaction with the police, and like I don't know if you guys saw the guy that was outside of his own apartment complex, like cleaning up litter, and the cops are like, "Oh, we got a suspicious call."
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Want your ID?" Blah blah blah. So he'll play the clip, and then he'll break down every part of it. Like he's like, when the guy's like, "Oh, you need to show ID," he'd be like, "Actually, in this state, this is the law. You don't have to." And then he gives a grade to everybody afterwards. He's like, the person that was involved in it, how they handled it, and then the cop, and it's great. Audit the Audit on YouTube. That's my new jam.
I like that. That's a cool thing, because you always see these people posting these videos of like, well, this is what it is and this is what it means, and most of the time they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So having an actual specialist actually be like, okay,
and
I'd
he
watch
quotes
that.
the laws from that state and everything. Like there was one, this guy did an open carry at a mall. He didn't go in, but he was outside, and he kept reciting. He's like, ordinance, blah blah blah, says I can carry it, and the guy's like, this is the ordinance. And the part he's leaving out is you can open carry a long-range rifle or long something type of firearm on your own property.
Okay.
He left that part out. He just kept quoting this thing. And, but Audit the Audit's dope. I also saw recently. I saw Dolomite. You're so high right now.
I'm just like fascinated by what you're saying, buddy.
Have you guys seen Dolomite on
in.
Netflix?
No.
I gotta finish watching it. I've watched the
So
first
good.
half. I enjoyed it a lot. It's nice to see Eddie Murphy.
And it's after you watch it, watch the real Dolomite movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's they also at the end they do the same thing as Disaster Artist, where they show side by side clips
okay.
of like their remake or whatever. With it's yeah.
I haven't seen The Room or Disaster Artist, so
I mean, just see the Disaster Artist. That's
okay.
The Room is fucking awful. I did see movies I've seen recently. The Lighthouse.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Awful.
Okay.
Just a big jacking itself off. Saw Motherless Brooklyn.
Okay.
Don't
you know
what
that?
is.
No.
Ed Norton.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. I heard him talking about that on
Rogan?
NPR the other day.
He talked about it on
No,
Rogan.
I did hear it on
NPR?
Rogan too.
Oh, NPR? Yeah, you just flex the NPR on everybody? Jesus.
Is there something
man.
wrong with listening to an
Yes.
unbiased news source?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
What's
How
wrong?
dare you? The rest of America listens to biased news, Matt.
Okay. Well, I like to be a little open-minded.
You can't even
Piece
spell
of
it.
shit. You fucking fence-sitting Nancy.
This
How
is
dare you?
this is a weird thing to pick to attack me
Yeah.
on. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much
Fucking
better shit
radio
that should bring
You
it.
fucking NPR listen. How about you fucking go turn Russia on, you fucking son of a bitch?
Jesus,
Turn Rush
very
on.
aggressive when
It's
been
intense.
smoking.
Anyways,
Well,
Haven't seen him in a while.
Motherless Brooklyn. He talked about it on Rogan. What's pretty interesting is there's the character that Alec Baldwin plays in the movie that his character is not a real person, but it represents a real person. So I think Norton said from like 1938 to 1963 or something like that. There's a guy that was head of, I forget the name of it, but let's say it was like city operations or whatever. It was like it wasn't an elected official.
Yeah.
He just took over he created this position, and he was above everybody, the mayor, the governor, everybody, and he built the bridges. There's a park named after him, and he was, I guess, racist, and he would just declare, oh, this building's condemned. All you black people, you got to move out, so that they could move in other people.
Oh shit!
It's crazy, and that's what they have in the movie. There's a lot of other stuff with the movie, and the movie's it's pretty good. Norton's awesome in it. But when I found out that was a real thing, is fucking mind blowing. This guy had so much power. Also saw, of course, I've seen the Joker 3 times.
That's fantastic.
Just saw, what's the one I just saw that just came out? Oh, I saw.
You saw The Irishman, didn't you?
Just saw that.
Yeah.
And I saw the Shining sequel, Dr. Sleep.
What did you think of The Irishman? Because I'm just curious because I was in that focus group. I haven't seen it.
It is awesome. It's crazy because it's 3.5 hours long, and it's weird to say it, but you don't notice.
Really?
It just it starts and it just everything flows, and it's really interesting. Also, I found out Ed Sheeran is related to that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So Ed Sheeran is related to the guy,
Frank Sheeran, I think his name is.
the actual Irishman, the historic guy.
Yeah.
Dude, that focus group was weird, and like to hear you say that it was like a 3.5 hour long movie and it was good. Like they really stacked the deck on that one, you know.
Harvey Keitel's in it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Pacino, De Niro, what you might call it, the fucking Pesci, Harvey Keitel. There's a lot of people that you'll recognize in there, and it's. You know, Ray Romano's in it.
Yeah.
Jim Norton's in it.
Jim Norton's in
Jim
it?
Norton plays Don Rickles.
Oh, get out of here!
Hysterical.
That's fucking
Yeah.
hysterical. He looks like Don Rickles.
It's great. Yeah, it's that movie's it's awesome, and I don't know, you get the idea of like how much people loved Hoffa.
Yeah,
Like, you know, and it is crazy. Like even for the time of that movie, he talks about. As he was getting up there, he's like, young people have no idea who Jimmy Hoffa was, and he was like the most powerful dude at the time.
Yeah. Nobody knows anymore.
It's
just
fucking
gone.
nuts, dude.
He's like kind of written out of history, you know.
It's crazy. And Dr. Sleep is great.
Yeah.
was it good?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I was gonna say they did something weird with the release for that Irishman movie because they did it in theaters.
Yeah,
It's also available on Netflix.
not yet.
Not yet,
Coming out in I think towards the end of this month,
but they did that so like they just
so it can be nominated.
exactly yeah. But they were gonna do it just as a Netflix movie,
Yeah, but
which is crazy. Like that, it's just crazy that Netflix has that much money now.
and just I think some people had complained that the facial, you know.
Oh yeah, they did that aging thing like they
And
did.
some people were bitching about it.
Gemini
It's great.
Man.
I think what threw people off is De Niro wears blue contacts because the character had blue eyes, and I think that kind of throws you off because you're not used to seeing De Niro with blue eyes.
Yeah.
But his skin and everything, it's fucking great. Him and Pesci, all of it. It looks
Really?
good. It's so good, dude. Highly recommend.
I gotta check that out. I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Netflix though. 'Cause I'm a cheap ass.
3.5 hours, dude. I would definitely will be watching it again. I was trying to decide if I like it more than The Departed or King of Comedy. You know, I've never seen Raging Bull.
What?
Yeah.
I've also never seen
Oh
Raging Bull.
God! There's a scene in Raging Bull that like cemented Joe Pesci as one of my favorite actors of all time. He beats the shit out of this guy the guy's like getting into a car, and Pesci like pulls him out of the backseat of a car and just starts slamming his head in the car door, and he's just fucking getting after him. I was just like, I like this guy.
Pesci's so great in this. It's interesting because I think we're all used to seeing Pesci play that character. You motherfucker!
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's very chill, like a high up mob guy, but very chill with it. And he plays it great. Yeah, it's a very good movie.
I definitely have to see it, like, because I did a focus group for it before the movie ever came out or was even announced that it was coming out, like before they released any of the
Explain to people
material.
what that is.
So like
people I think might, because I didn't know. I was like, does that mean you saw it or what?
No. So what happened was I responded to this. I do this thing in Phoenix called Fieldwork Phoenix, and it's because they pay you fucking good. And I answered an ad, and they send you through like an online survey. And then if you qualify, they send you they call you and they schedule a time for you to come in to do whatever like focus study they're doing.
Right.
And so for this particular one, it was for this movie. And they made us sign like a non-disclosure form and whatever.
Oh, I'm glad you're following that.
Yep. Well, I mean, the movie's out. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I believe you were talking about it before the movie came out as well.
I probably was.
I mean, I know you didn't
Fucking
go.
come
I know
get
you didn't
me.
go to law school. So
Fucking come get me. Here, that's the school I went to. Fucking come get me.
Okay.
That was a little bit too much of a laugh there. I didn't like it. But anyway,
So Jesus.
Go on.
So we went in and it was like it was like a pretty good cross section of people, like all walks of life, different kinds of people that were all in, but everybody like shared the interest in those type of like crime movies. So that's what the kind of like what got everybody in. And then they showed us like a bunch of different artwork for the movie. They asked us how they felt about the actors that were in the movie. Like the movie's already shot.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just getting cut and everything. Like it's coming out, and they're just kind of getting people's input on, you know, what makes it, what looks good about this. How is this appealing? Like, what can we do to make it maybe more appealing to more people?
Right.
Like, or what are we missing for the target demographic, like for people that like crime?
Do you remember any of your answers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Fucking no.
You're just like, give me the check.
Yeah. Just give me the
pay cash or check.
It's a Visa credit card, a Visa like prepaid Visa. So I mean, I used it to pay some of my rent. Like,
all right,
you know.
This is a question we had on the HollingsWorthless the other day, and I know I'm springing this on you, and it's going to take you a second to answer it. We were talking about on the HollingsWorthless, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of comedy? And it doesn't have to be just stand-up. So as an example, like Will Ferrell could be on your, you know, like I put Johnny Carson on my as one of my people on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
I was thinking today I might put Gene Wilder on there, but I don't know. And I was trying to think of like people that have had such a huge effect across all parts of comedy, you know?
Oh, I love Gene Wilder.
I had Joan Rivers. Those are two of mine, is Carson and Rivers.
I gotta say, like for me, one of the biggest people has got to be Kinnison.
Okay.
Like, I remember hearing Kinnison, like what?
I'm thinking about the question.
Oh, you're making fucking faces over there.
I'm thinking. I'm deep in thought.
But I'm just in your
fucking
head now
answer
'cause I
your
was like,
question.
oh.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
No. Stop that. Don't do that.
There
Stop
you
it.
go. Kinnison.
Kinnison.
Sean, he had Norm Macdonald as one of his.
That's a good one.
He had Bill Murray as another.
Yeah.
Phil had Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
which is a solid pick. I mean, you
really
think about
is.
people that have Steve Martin. It's hard to not put Steve Martin on there. I mean, you have
Yeah, that's a good
comedy,
one, too.
acting. Man,
What the fuck was that one guy's name? I wish I could remember. He's not on the Rushmore, but it's just like funny to me that he's a comic.
could you be a little more vague?
He wasn't. He was on Law and Order SVU. He played, his character's name
Richard
was
Belzer?
Belzer, yeah.
The bells.
The Bells.
Yeah.
Dude, I had
Got choked out by Hulk.
Did he?
Oh, you know,
know that?
I'm pretty sure it was Hulk Hogan. He used to have a talk show. Here's a little thing you can look up. He used to have a talk show and wore shades and everything. Had Hulk Hogan on and like they were joking around like, and he's like, you know, I think it was Hogan. You know, oh, is this fake? And he goes, oh, here, let me show you. Takes him and puts him in like a headlock, and then lets him go. His body goes limp. He lets him go, and he just boom hits his head, and then like just going into like performer mode. He kind of like springs up. He goes, all right, we'll be right back. And then he's like fucking bleeding behind his head. You can look it up. Look up Richard Belzer's
a real thing.
choke out.
Fucking Hulkster.
Open your phone. Put it on YouTube. Bring it up.
John Cleese.
Ah.
Brian Regan.
I like John
Ooh.
Cleese for other reasons.
4. Mount Rushmore would be 4.
Yeah. Let
Man.
me look at you. I'll look it up while you.
Hold on.
I got it. I'm not gonna go into your fucking dick pics.
I don't have any dick
that
pics
you've received.
Wow,
Daniel Tosh.
Oh,
Ooh.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Ah, that's an interesting pick.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Why Tosh?
I have to go Bill Murray. Daniel Tosh, when I listened to the first Daniel Tosh record, I was listening to it on a roof with a bunch of my friends roofing this house. And it was the funniest goddamn thing I had ever heard in my entire life.
Actually, I'm going to say something.
Especially
You could say
because
Dane Cook.
I was gonna. I
was
was just
gonna-
about
yeah.
to, because his first album, I was a sophomore in high school, I think, when his first album came out, and it was like the most quoted thing amongst me and my friends that like we ever had. Like we used to quote like Austin Powers or whatever, but nothing like we quoted Dane Cook's bits in that first special. And then the second one, like, he fucking felt so hard. Like, I remember everybody was just like, oh, it's not as good.
I was like, do I put Patrice on there? Bill Burr? I don't know.
yeah, that's true. There's
Mel Brooks? Or no, Mel
Mel Brooks. Mel
Brooks.
motherfucking
No, it is
Brooks.
Mel Brooks. That has
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Blazing
Brooks,
Saddles.
Saddles.
Young
Oh, man.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, there's too many.
Dude, that's why I'm like, who would
There's
you put?
too many. And
Honestly, like you said, Gene Wilder.
I love Gene
I would
Wilder.
say Mel Brooks because he used Gene so much and he like, you know what I mean?
Richard
Like,
You want to hear something
Pryor.
interesting? I don't know if you know this.
Pryor.
Yeah, prior to what?
No, just saying Richard.
Okay. Did you know? You fucking idiot. I love your answer. No, hold on. This will be interesting to you. Have you heard? I don't know if you've heard this. Did you know Sam Kinison said Gene Wilder was an inspiration for his comedy?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
If you think of like some of his yelling and shit that Gene Wilder does and stuff.
Oh yeah, he comes up and he's got like kind of that crazy like
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
God,
Got
some of the in his Gene Wilder's facial expressions
Dude.
that he would do, and like just the looks he would give to the camera and shit.
I fucking love him. Even like movies that weren't like big hits, but
Yeah.
like Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
oh
when,
god, it was so good.
When Richard Pryor's like, "What are you fucking deaf?" And he goes, yes, I'm fucking deaf.
Did you know in Charlie and the Chocolate or in Willy Wonka and the
Yeah.
Chocolate Factory? So the scene where they go through the tunnel and everything gets like fucking crazy and
Oh,
freaky.
it's one of my favorite parts.
All the actors besides Gene Wilder did not know that was about to happen.
Oh shit.
So all of their reactions are like just 100% real terror because they're just it's fucking what 1960
Yeah.
whatever, and they've got all this crazy shit happening around them. They're in this fucking boat, and Gene Wilder's just sitting there being the creepiest fucking human being he can be.
It's one of the, dude, one time I was high and we watched that, and it's from that part, and he's like, he's saying it has like some,
He's got a whole
a long
monologue
speech,
he's
but
doing.
at the end of it, he just goes. It's the funniest fucking thing. And at the beginning of that, do you know the story about the somersault?
No.
He put that in there. He wanted to do, the part where he's limping and then he does a somersault. He wanted that in there, and he said that he wanted it in there because from that point on, you don't know what to believe about the guy.
yeah,
That's
it's pretty
fair.
It's pretty good.
It's very
Genius.
fair. Yeah.
Dude, Gene Wilder.
And
is
he
so
did it,
fucking-
and like that was his call.
yeah, and I forgot about Willy
How
Wonka. I was
smart.
thinking about all the comedies.
Yeah.
Man. How could I forget Willy
Yeah.
Wonka?
Oh, that was such a powerful role.
Dude.
Fuck. He played such a strange person.
Yeah, it's. I still haven't. I nailed it down my 4. I know. I'd say Joan Rivers is in there. Her stand-up was amazing. Also,
Yeah.
what she did for comedy, especially for female comics,
Yeah.
was so ballsy. Carson, I just think was so amazing. Like, just I don't know if you guys watched a lot of Carson.
What about Roseanne?
When I was really young, yeah.
Roseanne, she wouldn't be on mine, but I could see how somebody would put her on.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell would be a solid pick.
Yeah.
He's got TV, he's got movie. Fuck, man.
There's so many people.
Yeah.
There's been so many like amazingly funny people in the world, and it's just like how the fuck do I even scratch into that?
Yeah.
Like, and that's why it is a Mount Rushmore, I guess, because it's like it's just such a high place of esteem for these people, and I think I'd have to I'm gonna put Mel Brooks on
Okay.
because just fuck. Kinison, Dane Cook, as much. I don't want to say Dane.
But who gives a shit?
Well, just the way he is
I think
now.
so many
who
people.
he is now.
I always think it's funny. I'm not saying you, but like so many people, like comics. I think it's more younger comics will shit on Dane Cook, but then they'll suck like Burr's dick or all these other. And if you ever hear Burr in an interview, he will always tell you how Dane Cook was a crusher. And nobody could follow him, and like the stuff he was doing was unreal. It
was. It really was. But who he is now, that's why it's not that I don't like him for
Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett.
So many good ones.
Lucille Ball, that's a deep cut. Like I remember watching I Love Lucy. Every time I go to my aunt's house, she'd have I Love Lucy on.
Martin Short.
Dude.
Another one.
Man.
There's so many.
Harvey.
There's so many like different things that I watched growing up that were like huge
Colin Quinn
influences.
Yeah. Actually, all right. So
oh, dude,
my last one.
Chappelle's got TV, movie, and comedy.
My last one is Geraldo.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. There's your 4. Chappelle, I might put up there for the trifecta. The Chappelle Show, I think, was one of the greatest TV shows ever. His stand-up, you can't touch it. And he's got his one movie, the Weed movie.
So dude, Half Baked is a great movie. I don't give a fuck.
So that might be 3 of my. Interesting. Who's yours?
What did I say? John Cleese, Brian Regan, Daniel Tosh, and I think I picked Bill Murray. Yeah.
Dude, Sean was telling, because Sean's a big Bill Murray fan too. He was telling me Bill Murray this story. There's a documentary, I guess, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I don't think I've seen it, but I
want to
know
see
what it is.
But I guess like there'll be a dude told a story where he was in a bathroom, and Bill Murray, he's pissing, and Bill Murray comes up behind him, puts his hands around his eyes, and then he lets go, and then he backs up, and the guy looks back at him, and Bill Murray just goes, "No one will ever believe you." And that's it. It's just genius. And then there was another story, I guess, where there was like a house party of kids, and Bill Murray goes into the house party, doesn't say anything, and then he's just at the kitchen, gloves on, doing the dishes. It's so genius, dude.
Weirdo.
It's great, dude.
You know that like one copy album of Wu-Tang. What was it called? Like
Martin Shkreli.
Shkreli. I think it's like Once Upon a Time in Shaolin or something like that. And he bought it.
Oh, did he? Murray?
No.
Oh, Martin Shkreli, whatever his name is.
But so there was a clause written into the sale of that piece of music that if Bill Murray stole it, then it was fine to be publicized to the world.
Really?
Like, apparently that is written into that contract. I might be wrong. It might have been like just a bunch of
I
bullshit.
might just be high.
I might just be high. Someone might have fucking got me on Reddit or something. Like
that's not legal.
It's not legal.
No.
What if it's in a contract?
You can't
contract.
agree to illegality.
Make it This is we're watching the Richard Belzer.
Here's
Hulk
Bells.
Hogan. Okay, here you go.
Ugh.
And
What
he's
an-
out. He's out
He's
right
out.
now.
Oh
Boom.
yeah. Oh wow.
Oh my God. He's what a dick.
You know why he did that though?
Oh.
You know why Hulk
Jesus.
Hogan did that to him. If he did say like, so is
know.
it?
I
He
don't
asked
know,
the
yeah.
question, is it real? Like,
I don't know if he did though. I don't know if he was saying that or not. I know there was one interview where they did it to Sid Vicious.
and he just
It
lost his
slapped the
mind.
shit out of him, dude. My dad used to tell me stories of Ken Patera being around, not driving around, but being around Portland, Oregon, and would just go and fight people.
Yeah, just lose his mind.
Same Roddy Piper was from Portland.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Roddy Piper.
I used to see him down at the YMCA when I'd be playing hoop, and I'd be like,
Mr. Piper.
he actually had, this is not a joke, he had car shops called Piper's Pits.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I wish I met him once and just had a quick interaction with him. Yeah, that dude, I love that guy. That was my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Favorite wrestler of all time is gotta be Andre. To be honest, 'cause
Really?
he's just got such a mythos, around him. You know, like he's this.
Which
he's
one, a mythos or a mythos?
Both.
All right. It's so big.
It's so big.
Yeah, he's
It's
got
so
both of them.
massive. But like all the stories that you hear about him when he was alive, like drinking 106 beers in a sitting, and then you see pictures.
Oh, man.
You know, like, and his hand is just like double the size. It was just insane. I remember I went into the Billy Goat in Chicago. It's like this. Chicago's kind of got those split level streets downtown, and the Billy Goat's on the bottom of one. And it's just like this old ass bar that's been there forever. And there's a picture. It was just cool. You walk.
Do you think there's going to be pictures of you
as
the goat?
Yeah, I took a picture next to the goat. I took a picture with the goat. But there's like pictures. That's where Arnold went, or Andre went when he would go to Chicago. Is to this bar, and there's like a bunch of pictures of him everywhere. And he's just always been I love, like, I'll go on deep dives of just listening to people talk about him.
You seen the documentary?
I haven't yet, no.
What? How could you?
I know, I just talk all this shit, and then I'm like, I haven't seen the documentary.
So is yours, Matt?
Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh.
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he was pretty great.
He was. He really was.
It's nice to see special needs people really fucking get out there and do things.
Yeah, he's lost it, right? As he got older.
No, I think I mean, they all lose it to a certain amount because they are all running on basically beer, cocaine, and whatever else they could get.
Roddy Piper was actually, I mean, you know, because I probably talked to him within a year of him passing away, but he was totally cool, like chill,
really?
You know, and he was trying stand up, you know, he's trying to get into.
Oh no, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake the Snake was a close second just because he had a snake.
Did you watch that documentary?
No, I didn't.
Fucking Christ.
What?
You're like, he's like this.
For me?
He's like, I've actually never watched wrestling.
No, I haven't. I didn't. I never did.
I'm trying to think.
I wasn't allowed to. Because I would practice the moves of my brother.
I like Stone Cold. There was a guy in Portland.
Stone Cold.
There was a dude that they used to have. I forget what it was called, but there was like a local Portland wrestling that they would have on Saturday nights on TV, local KPTV 12. And there's a dude named Playboy Buddy Rose, and he was built like King Kong Bundy, but he had blonde hair, and he'd come out, he'd like, hey, what's up?
Do you remember Val Venus?
Yeah.
Val Venus used to have like a pot speakeasy in Phoenix on like Baseline and McClintock.
That's hysterical.
And he would just be hanging out there every once in a while. There was a comedy show that they did there though before it got like closed down because you can't fucking smoke it. Like,
I also liked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but that's just because I
one.
loved martial arts.
I don't know him. I don't remember that.
I love Sting.
Oh yeah,
Sting was a
Sting
great
was a
storyline
fucking
to
icon,
watch.
man.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like. I mean, I started watching wrestling way back when, but Stone Cold was pretty.
Do you know
good.
how he
Stone
got his
Cold was
name?
good.
Do you ever hear
His
that
wife,
story?
right?
It's his wife.
Yeah.
He's got like a prim and proper British wife, and drink your tea, it'll be Stone Cold.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what was his name before Stone Cold?
Because he was the $6 million man or something like that.
No. Steve Austin was.
It was Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin was the $6 Million Man, the TV show.
Yeah.
But that wasn't his.
He was like the $1 million man, I think.
No, that wasn't it. You don't know what you're talking about. Just sit there and not be pretty.
That was Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
He was part of like a tag team group, and he had, like,
I think he was a face.
He had long blonde hair.
Yeah, you looking it up? Here we go. By the way, Google Richard Belzer Hulk Hogan if you want to see that
That's
choke
a pretty
out.
good one. Stone Cold. I enjoyed Stone Cold's run through. Through that was the Monday Night Wars back when, and that was
probably the best theme song ever.
Yeah. I also loved D-Generation X. They were fantastic.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I have a picture of me standing on top of my mom's porch, like on the wall of the porch, with a homemade D-Generation X shirt because she wouldn't let me buy one because she was fucking mean. It was my money. I don't care if the shirt was full price, Mom.
You have so much inside you.
Anyway,
so much of this
and I had my only pair of Jinkos that I ever had on.
Jinkos.
Backwards Kangol, and I was given the suck it.
Oh, you're so gross.
I was so gross. Pretty sure I was listening to ICP at the time, too.
Kevin Hall and Scott Nash were fun, too.
Oh.
What about Razor Ramon?
Yeah.
That guy was a monster of a human being. He was so friggin' tall.
Steve Austin did the interview. I'm trying to find it here.
I was also a big fan of Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Bret Hart, like the
Bret
Hitman.
Hart, yeah.
Hitman.
That documentary was great.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
He spit on McMahon.
Was his brother's the one who lost his mind and
Owen.
No.
or no, he
no.
fell from the
He
Owen fell.
Yeah.
Who was the one who lost their mind?
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Crippler.
Oof.
Yeah.
What a fucking dark tale that
Yeah,
is.
killed his kid and his wife.
And his wife. Yeah, he killed. He was a family. He became a family annihilator.
Jesus.
Right.
Really crippled that family. Crippled that
Did you
family
guys?
tree.
Did you guys ever see the documentary Choke?
Oh yeah, Rick
Yeah.
Hicks and Gracie.
No, or not Choke. Fuck.
I
Well-
saw that documentary too.
That
Did
one.
you see Choke?
No.
Oh,
I didn't.
Choke's,
by the way,
I was talking about
Choke's great.
fuck.
Yeah, Hicks
No.
and Gracie Choke is a great documentary, by the way.
It is, but that's
Have you
not
seen
what I
that
was,
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what I was talking.
Have you ever seen Bloodsport?
What was the one where the guy fucking
Where they
just
dip
is
their
going
hands in
down?
glass?
He's like it's the end of his
Called the
career.
Kumite.
Are you talking? Are you talking about the movie with
No,
Mickey
it's-
Rourke
No. It's
or
like
Mickey?
The wrestler?
Yeah.
Was it Kevin Randleman?
Stick with the Steve
Are
Austin.
you
Alright.
talking about the Pride one?
Yeah, he was
Matt
like
Coleman? Was it Matt Coleman?
no. Matt Coleman fought him, but
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. There was a documentary about two Pride fighters. They actually lived in
Pride
like,
is in
Scottsdale.
MMA?
Yeah.
You're great at starting stories.
They actually lived in like Scottsdale and trained here, and they'd go fight. And I think the dude who was supposed to be like the badass of them, I think he got like super into fucking some kind of the drugs and got knocked out. And the other dude ended up fighting Pride for a long time. I think he actually won a couple of the tournaments.
Did you find it there, Billy? Billy Big Balls?
Steve Austin, the ringmaster.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I think that's one of them. I think he had another one, too. The Ringmaster.
the ringmaster. Yeah, that's a real shitty one there.
I mean, it's not $6 Million Man.
No, it's not.
What was the other? What was the $6 Million woman? Lindsey Graham? Was that her name?
Miss Elizabeth?
No.
No.
The TV show.
Oh, I don't. I
There was
never.
a
I never
female
saw
version.
those. Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. We will build him faster, stronger. Do you remember the intro?
No, it was way before my time, buddy.
I have to had the best theme song. That's all right. You'll be all right.
Did you almost get to the answer?
Yeah.
The answer is no, you did not.
I have to. I have to. Dude, it had the best intro. The $6 Million Man. It was like he was a astronaut, Steve Austin. Let me find it, and we'll play a little clip here. $6 Million Man.
When was that on?
Dude.
When did that show start?
Dude, this is probably, I'll say this is, it's got to be early 80s probably, I'm
Okay.
thinking. Okay, that's great. We all know that. There we go. It's typing, cyborg, a human being whose original human parts have had to be replaced to one extent or another by machines that perform the same function. Here we go. This is I don't remember. Oh, this is like the long intro where they show him crashing.
This is great podcast material. I hope everybody's as riveted as I am. I'm glad.
Here we go. Shut up.
I'm
Shut
glad
up.
that you took my phone
Shut
to
up.
do this.
We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
This is great.
Shut up.
Be that man. Better than he was before. Better. Stronger. Faster.
Careful, don't break a sweat. Careful, you might break a
That's
sweat.
so best. You're gonna break a sweat when you run this 13 miles, bro.
Yeah, when are you doing
Yeah,
that now?
when-
All right. So when do you leave, Jay?
Not for a while,
Okay, not for a while.
but 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Matt, you're running it on Sunday.
Yep. You can run on Sunday too if you.
I can't. I gotta work.
Well, I'm not running
Just
until
do it
like
after
6.
your work. I mean, it was so easy for you.
Okay, so today is the 12th.
I'm gonna have to do it after a hard night of partying in Vegas.
Yeah, I can't wait to do. We got to record
So
it.
I'll do it on the 24th.
All right, you heard it here, the 24th.
24th.
And then what is that? A Sunday?
Yes.
Perfect. And then that Monday, or we could do it that night. You're going to be dead.
We should do it at night.
You want to podcast afterwards?
No, we should do it like the run at night.
Yeah, well, whatever. But we got a podcast afterwards.
Where are you gonna run 13 miles at night?
You want to go to a track and just you run it around the track?
I think that's probably the best.
Great.
Don't you?
How many times around the track is that? Like 100?
It's a lot. It depends
13
on the
times
track.
4, 52.1 miles. I don't know. You have to figure out the 0.1, but like 52 laps plus. 52
man.
plus laps.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I'll run
dude.
53.
Well, I'll bring ice for your
Bitch.
knees.
It's more than that.
Okay. You heard it here. We're going to record it.
All right, on the 24th, yeah, we'll get a time lapse of my fat little ass
Matt
running
and
it.
I'll sit there and we'll chill on the side and
Yeah.
play Call of Duty Mobile.
I've been playing that.
It's amazing.
It's fucking
Is it
great.
good?
Oh,
It's
Yeah?
awesome.
and the thing that's great is whether you're on iPhone or Android, you
Can I go pee?
Yeah, well, here we'll wrap it up.
No, that's not.
No, it's close.
Are we close?
Anyways,
All
yeah.
right.
You can play between Android or iPhone. Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Hey,
So
Call
we'll
of
add
Duty,
each other.
sponsor
I'm
us.
at
totally.
Big Irish J. What's yours?
I don't even know.
Okay, we'll add
At
it.
MC Walker Walker.
We got to do a Worthless of the Week for the HollingsWorthless.
At
I know
Bill
mine.
_shit.
We'll get to all that.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Worthless of
No.
the Week.
Worthless of the week.
Your stories.
No. All right. Worthless of the week are people that like go to the boardwalk in a beach community just to stunt on other people, like on
Stunt.
like, but they do it like by rollerblading really fast by them, or like they're out there like flexing for people, but you're doing it the wrong way.
Okay.
So
all right.
that's who my worthless people are, the weirdos that are out there trying to flex on the beach.
Got it. You have one, Matt?
Worthless of the week. I don't like mowing the yard. It's pretty terrible.
So who's worthless? You or the lawn?
The grass. Yeah, the grass is pretty
Grass is worthless.
It sucks.
I agree. Grass is worthless.
There's ants in it. They suck.
Fucking dumb grass.
I got my worthless, and I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow, and I have to preface it for all the fucking people that'll bitch. It's non-English speaking, or English is not their first language customer service reps. Bless their heart. They're definitely smarter
trying.
than me. They speak more languages than me, but it is the most frustrating, annoying thing. I don't know if you guys know this. If you call Amazon customer service,
Yeah.
and you get somebody, you can say, "Can I speak to somebody in the U.S.?" and they don't trip, they'll transfer you. I talked to Samsung for probably 6 hours total,
Oof.
and I'm like I'm yelling because I'm so frustrated. And anybody that is like, "Oh, Jay, you got to be understanding," blah blah blah. Where you never hear someone that English is not their first language on a phone? A 911 call. You never hear somebody going, "I'm sorry, sir," because they want you to fucking be able to understand them. So that's my worthless of the week. Again, nothing against the people that do that, and we're all trying to make a living,
but still,
the corporations that fucking, dude,
yeah,
it is so aggravating. So that's
eat
my
a
worthless of the
dick
week.
for
So you want to talk
Wireless.
to whites only? Got it.
You racist.
Yeah, pretty much. You got it. Yeah. People that went to law school, you get it. All right, let's give your IGs and your handles and everything.
Okay. I'm at Bill _shit.
Why'd you say it like that? It's so
'Cause-
weird.
Why not?
I'm at MC Walker
you
Walker
fucking-
on Instagram. You can also follow the Meat Sweats podcast. Yeah.
We
What?
have we launched our first shirt.
Yeah,
that
we
Matt
did.
Hates.
Oh, yeah.
I
I saw
don't
it.
hate it.
Matt hates the shirt.
It's like a dick with a mouth.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
It's like
Um,
a penis going into a gaping anus.
It is.
It's pretty much
You can
what
get
it
your
looks
very
like.
own on teespring.com. There'll be a link in our episode descriptions. Jay doesn't give a fuck, so he won't put a link.
I'm at Big Irish J at everything, and I'll be at the Tempe Improv this weekend if you're in Arizona.
Oh.
Oh.
Mr. Fancy
Shows
Pants.
you guys want to plug? I didn't think so. All right. Well, thanks for listening. All right.